and welcome back to a new season of What Pet Should I Get? I am so happy to be back, bringing you a plethora of animals that are looking for forever homes, and of course, introducing you to the people from the organizations that make that happen. Now, today on the program, we have Carly Whirl here from Coveted Canines, and Tamara Arnu will be here from Dogtails Rescue and Sanctuary. But up first, we have a friend of the show, Emily Jordan from the Ontario SPCA. How are you?
Good, how are you?
I'm good. How was your summer?
It was good.
So Emily has brought us two adorable kittens, but before we start talking about these little sisters here, I wanted to ask you one thing. Over the summer, you had a campaign, No Hot Pets, obviously about leaving your pets in the car, which is an ongoing issue, and it was, I'd say it went viral.
Yeah, so we found out we actually reached 50 million people.
Amazing.
On social media, which is crazy and amazing, obviously, because it gets the word out to everyone. We had over 5,000 people go on our website and take the pledge that they would not leave a pet in a vehicle. And we had 682 calls to our 310 SPCA 24-hour dispatch line reporting dogs in cars.
Now, I know it's kind of hard to sort of wrap your head around the numbers, because does that mean that you think the incidence of people leaving their pets in the car went up, or just the fact that more people are aware of it and are looking out for it? And perhaps the campaign also helped the number maybe go down?
Yeah, I think people are definitely more aware of it now. You know, every year I think our reach reaches more and more people, so more people are becoming conscious that it isn't okay to do that. And so, you know, they're jumping on the chance to call when they do see one and make sure it gets the help that it needs and it's not left in distress. So.
Well, we had an extremely hot summer too, but we're also having a pretty warm fall. Mm-hmm. So would you say then that this No Hot Pets campaign needs to continue with the weather, the temperatures they are right now?
It definitely can. I think today I heard it's getting up to 24. So I mean, anytime that we're having basically summer weather, even if it is fall, it's still a concern. So still call the number if you see an animal in a car, because they will still send help for them, of course.
And of course, if you are a pet owner, just leave your pet at home.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Don't go shopping and leave your dog in a car.
Don't ever do that.
And the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, which was a big summer event that just happened in the last few weeks, was your signature fundraising event, was the Friends for Life walk.
Yep.
So talk to us about that. How was it?
Yeah, so we had that on September 25th. You know, they run them in different locations, but we had ours on the 25th, and we had a really great turnout. We're still counting the money that we raised, but we're up to $48,000 right now for our location, so it's really great.
And I know a lot of people, we've mentioned this before on the show, a lot of people are under the assumption that the Ontario SPCA is somehow government funded. Can you clarify to us, where is your funding from?
I think it's because the name Ontario is in our name, so
it seems provincial.
Yeah. But it is all donor funded, so we really need the support of our community and our supporters to help us save animals every day. So.
And that always continues, even though the Friends for Life walk is over.
You can always donate.
You can always donate. And now, we are getting to the end of what we call kitten season, which runs from, starts roughly about June till September, roughly?
Yeah, sometimes it can be earlier. Depending on the weather, too, it goes earlier or later sometimes.
Is it the warmer the weather, the more kittens are born?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a feeling then, with this warm weather that we're having, kitten season may be extended even possibly into early November.
Could be. We're definitely still getting some in, so we're not quite out of them yet. Yeah. As you can see, we've got two here today.
Well, we do have two here today, and these girls are sisters.
Yes.
This is Polly.
And this is Thumbelina.
So talk to us about these guys. You tell me about Polly right here.
Yeah, so their names are indications of their feet. So they've got extra toes that almost look like they have a thumb. So Polly over here stands for polydactyl, which is the name of what happens when you have an extra toe. And Thumbelina, of course, for her thumbs as well. She's got kind of smaller ones that aren't quite as pronounced as Polly's. Important thing to keep in mind with that is sometimes they do have a claw in between the thumb area, if you want to call it a thumb. So you have to make sure that it stays trimmed, because it will grow into their foot if it's not constantly kept short.
I have two cats. My one cat, trying to clip his claws is a nightmare. What would you recommend, especially when you're getting a kitten, bringing a kitten into the house, when it comes to claw trimming? Like, get them started early, or do you take them to the professionals?
I mean, the younger you can start it, hopefully the more they'll get used to it, and it's not going to be a big issue when they're adults and you're trying to do it. You know, sometimes if you're adopting an adult cat, you don't have that option to train them when they're young. So, I mean, if you can do it, you can. If it is too hard for you, there's groomers and vets that will do it for you as well. So.
And if you are going to trim your own, your cat's claws, where do you go? How deep? Because I always go, I think I go not too deep. But when I've ever gone to like a pet store or something, you see a cat, it feels like their claws are clipped really, really close to
the quick.
Yeah.
You mean you can see it when you put their nails out? You can actually see where it's pink. That's where they still have blood going through there, and that's where you don't want to cut. So as long as you're not cutting that pink part, you're good. But on the safe side, you should probably just cut the tip, and that's good enough.
Okay. So you also have running right now, you have a special when it comes to adopting. Is it cats and kittens?
Yes, so cats and kittens until October 16th. They're having an urgent appeal. I guess some of the shelters do have a little too many cats, so we're hoping to get them homes. So all fees have been reduced to $50.
That's great. And that means, as you know, any cat that comes out of the Ontario SPCA is fixed. And if anybody has a pet owner that has a cat, you know how expensive it is to have your animal spayed or neutered. Yeah. So to be able to adopt a cat that's been vetted and spay or neutered, microchipped, that is a great price. Yeah, so how many kittens and cats do you have right now, do you think?
We've got a bunch of kittens out at the two PetSmart locations in Richmond Hill, and we've got one kitten back at the shelter. These guys are going to be available soon, and there's still more in the back just waiting to get spayed and neutered and ready to go up, so there's going to be quite a few kittens on the way.
Yeah, and I always say, if you're interested in adopting a kitten, you know what's better than adopting a kitten? Adopting 2 kittens. Yeah. Right?
And for $50.
$50, $100, you can have these sisters.
Yeah.
Right? And they're a bonded pair because they're litter mates. And, growing up together, that would be perfect.
It's nice for kittens to have someone to play with, to have a little friend to play with, and they can wrestle and chase balls and do all sorts of stuff.
Yeah. And I guess when you want to bring these guys home, too, you just want to make sure that, just make sure you kitten-proof your house, because they can get into trouble in things that you don't realize, right? Loose wires, plants.
We've all shared stories of our personal experiences, so even if you think you're good, look again and try and find those things they can get into.
All right, we got to go. So if you're interested in these kitties, check out our website for more information.
Hi, I'm Sarah Woodruff, and this is Toby. He came to us about 7 years ago, a stray that wandered onto our property and hasn't left since. We had just put down our poodle, and my dad had said, if we ever got another dog, he would be a small dog with floppy ears. One day we opened the door and looked out on the grass, and our 3 labs were lying in the sun. Toby was sitting out in the grass with the 3 dogs, sunbathing, and he was a small dog with long floppy ears. He was a perfect match. He's happy and very, very active. He's definitely the boss in this house. When he showed up, he was wearing a collar, but no identifying tag. So we did do some checking around. We called the OSPCA and Animal Control to see if anyone had reported a missing dog, and no one had. So they came out and took his information and took some pictures of him and said if he can stay, let him stay. And he's been here ever since.
Welcome back. Joining me now from Dog Tales Rescue and Sanctuary is Tamara Arnu and Lisa Calvert. How are you, ladies?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. Now, Dog Tales, for people who are familiar with this place, beautiful facility located out in King City. And before we start talking about the dogs that you brought here today, I just wanted to talk to you about the Dog Tales Festival. You held your first annual one this past summer.
Yes.
And I know that the purpose of it was to really bring together, like, as an umbrella sort of organization, all the different rescue organizations that are out there in the GTA. And so how did it go?
It went awesome. It went amazing. Really well. We had thousands of people who came out. We had a Ferris wheel, a pet caricature artist, we had a stunt dog show, and then we also invited 90 renders and different rescue groups to come and talk about what they do. And we saw a lot of our Dog Tales alumni, which was amazing because we got to see them with their new families, and they had some reunions as well.
So for that, I know for the 2 days, were you also interested in adopting out dogs, or was that sort of secondary? It was just more about the awareness and getting the message out about rescue?
So the festival was really about awareness for us. We did schedule kennel tours so families could sign up for a time to come and walk through the kennels, but knowing that it was going to be very stressful for a lot of our dogs to see so many unfamiliar faces, we really asked that families come back on another weekend when we're open on our Sundays for the open adoption days to come back and take time to interact individually with the dogs.
And since the festival has visitor numbers, has it increased?
Yes, we've been incredibly busy since the festival, and we actually had a couple of amazing adoptions that were a result of our handlers walking dogs around the festival and people having a chance to meet them, including Padre, who was a really special story. He was on the show. He was a boxer who had DM, and then shortly after the festival, a family who had met him there came and took him home.
Now, I know from talking to Claire, who normally is on the show for Dog Tales, she said that also your dogs being on here has helped with adoption, and we're so happy to hear that. And one of the dogs, if our viewers recall our last show of the season, it was kind of funny. We had a dog on named Faya, and we tried to do some circus tricks with her, and it was crazy. But Faya now has a forever home, right?
Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if her jumping through hoops is what
totally
kind of convinced them, but Faya is doing amazing. Her mom calls us all the time, and they come to visit us, and she's just been doing better than we ever could have anticipated, so it really was the perfect match for her.
Perfect. Now, I know a lot of the dogs that you rescue for Dog Tales, they come from Florida, they come from different parts of Canada, and one of the main places is a former dog shelter. I'd say former because it's being shut down in Israel, where Danielle, who is the founder of Dog Tales, is from. And I know the story is she went to Israel to rescue some dogs, came across this dog shelter that was in disarray, bought it, and with the whole purpose of saving every one of these dogs. Now, I think every one of the dogs has come to Canada.
Yes, so the last grouping of dogs that was in that shelter actually arrived to us a few weeks ago, so they're just now in the process of beginning to adjust, and we're starting to work with them and understand some of what they've gone through and what kind of homes we're really looking for them.
Well, speaking of dogs that came from that shelter, we have two here today. We have Nini, who is lying on the floor. And we have Charlie, who is
Nini, and this is
Charlie.
Oh,
sorry, I got them mixed up. They switched.
Yeah.
Now, are they? Do you know if they're litter mates? I know it might be hard to figure that out.
Not really sure.
They look a lot alike.
They look a lot alike, so we're thinking they probably are.
They're like look-alike best friends.
And they're best friends.
Yeah,
right?
as you can see.
Yeah. Love each other.
So now these guys are a bonded pair, and this means that the family that's looking to adopt them, they need to take both.
They will be going.
You wouldn't split them up, right?
No. As you can see, I mean, from their dynamic here, Nini and Charlie have likely always interacted together. They play together. They're very energetic, and really the family that takes them both home needs to understand that they're really reliant on one another. So Charlie is still a little bit more shut down. They've been with us for a couple of months now, but Nini's really confident and very outgoing. So she's really helped to bring him out of his shell, and in their forever home, that will likely continue to be the case.
Well, I guess too, because I mean, the dogs were kind of living in, I'd say, somewhat traumatic situation when they were at the shelter in Israel, and obviously the handling and care that they get here at Dog Tales has you know, brought them out of their shell, so to speak. And you would never adopt out a dog that you didn't think was ready to go.
No,
right?
Definitely not.
So do you know what kind of breed they are?
We think that they're likely shepherd mixes. I mean, your guess is probably as good as ours.
Yeah, I see a little shepherd in there.
Yeah, and they definitely have sort of like a shepherd temperament. So both of them, as you can see, they're both very attentive to the two of us.
Yeah.
They're very training motivated, and they love treats. So
food motivated.
Yeah,
definitely.
so they're likely going to be very engaging with whichever family takes them home.
So Lisa, I see that these dogs are focused on you. Now, what's your role at Dog Tales, and why do they seem to be so focused on you? Do you spend a lot of time with these two dogs in particular?
I'm in the kennel all day, every day.
Yeah.
6 days a week, so they see me all the time. So yeah, they definitely do know me.
Yeah.
That's probably why. Yeah.
So what kind of family would you say then would be best suited for Nini and Charlie?
So the kind of family that we're looking for Nini and Charlie, they need to be very active, as relaxed as they are right now. Exactly. Yeah. They tend to be very bouncy dogs. They're young. They're only 3.
Okay.
So a family that's willing to kind of keep up with that and really take the time to work them and exercise their minds as well would be very beneficial to them. They would do great in a household that has older children, just because they're so active and really sort of need that additional support to be able to keep their activity level up to what they're used to.
Now, when they're at the shelter, because I know as I've visited there, most of the dogs, they have their own little individual, I wouldn't say cages, Okay, they're more like apartments.
Yeah, call them the rooms.
So I guess these guys house together?
Yes.
Yeah.
And how do they react with other dogs? Have you engaged them with other dogs?
Yeah, so they've been in play groups with our other dogs. They're wonderful. They could definitely go to a home with another dog. Nini is very enthusiastic when she plays, so if we were to send them home with another dog, what we would do is conduct a dog check just to make sure that the other dog was sort of up to her level of play.
Yeah, okay. And what about children? Oh, you said older children.
Yeah, we're saying older children. They're very sweet and they're very affectionate.
Just knock them over, possibly.
Yeah, exactly. And they're very affectionate. They want to kiss your face and they want to snuggle. So they would definitely be very well equipped. Yeah, to a family home.
Cool. And now I know one of the great things about Dog Tales too is when you do adopt a dog from there, you provide a dog training session.
Correct.
Right. So this obviously is not so much for the dog, but it's more for the person to know how to handle the dog. Yeah. What would they learn?
So what we recommend to families is when they adopt from us, either one dog or in this case 2 dogs, is that they go home for a few weeks and let the dog settle in and then write a list of questions that they might have for us. And they can be sometimes issues that come up in the home during the transitional period. So sometimes dogs will be very anxious or stressed out when they go to a new home, or it can just be basic obedience things that they want to come back and work on. So our handlers are really able to tailor those sessions to the family's individual needs.
Oh, that's excellent.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're interested in adopting, and it has Nini and Charlie have to go together, you can visit our website for details, but I always say what's better than seeing pictures of them is every Sunday, Dog Tales is open to the public from 11 till 5,
yes.
Correct? And you can go there and you can meet the dogs. You can meet Tamara, you can meet, Lisa.
Sorry.
And yeah, hopefully take these 2 guys home. All right, thank you so much for being on the show, and we'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Joining me now from Coveted Canines is Carly Whirl. I'm so glad to have you back on the show.
Thank you.
And you brought with you 2 dogs. We have Lucho and Todd, and they're traveled all the way from Mexico to find their forever homes. But before we meet them, I just want to talk to you about, you've had a busy summer.
Yes.
Rescuing dogs, jet setting all over the world, doing your good work. Tell us about your last trip.
We were in Mexico. We went to Isla Mujeres. And we visited some shelters there and some individual rescuers who just help taking dogs off the street and doing vetting and sending them to rescue in Canada. We also provided shoes and clothing for children in need. Yeah. And then we went into the communities and we did flea and tick treatments, heartworm prevention. We handed out collars and leashes, that kind of thing to the dogs, the street dogs, and the dogs that live with the sort of more impoverished populations that are there.
Well, it's very hard. It's expensive to be a pet owner here, and I imagine it can be downright so difficult in Mexico, especially if you come on a limited income, and they probably don't have the same resources there that we do here.
Exactly.
To be able to possibly get help. Right?
Exactly.
Unless there's organizations like you that are going there and providing stuff.
There are a lot of children who don't have shoes, they don't have shirts to wear. A lot of children can't go to school because they can't afford to buy the uniform. It's as easy as just buying a uniform, having shoes, and they can go to school.
Wow.
So.
So I was follow you on Facebook, and I noticed too that you had brought back from Mexico, your last trip, you had brought back some rescue dogs. How many dogs did you bring back?
We brought back 3 on that trip. But since then, we've had about 6 dogs come into the rescue, 2 more from Mexico, others from Ontario.
Yeah.
So we're constantly bringing them in from all over.
How many dogs right now do you have in care that are looking for homes?
21.
Okay, that's quite a few. Now you partner with, it's called PAR, Playa Animal Rescue, which are located in Mexico, and that's where Todd and Lucho are from?
Yes, they're amazing.
Yeah?
Yes.
So tell us about these guys.
They are a group of people who have this beautiful shelter, and they take in street dogs and dogs in need, dogs that have been abused, that kind of thing. They provide phenomenal vetting. They have incredible socialization programs. They have people coming every Saturday to walk the dogs and interact with them. And then the dogs just wait until they're ready. They're cleared by the vet for vetting, and then they come to Canada or they go to the US. for rescue, and they go into rescues or for individual adoption.
So now you brought, okay, these guys are from the last trip. You've had these guys in care for a little bit?
Yes.
Lucho and Todd?
Yes.
So tell us about, let's talk about Lucho first.
So Lucho is actually not whiny like this normally.
It's this environment. You know what? The lights, it stresses some of the dogs out. So please don't judge.
Good boy.
Don't judge him by the fact he's a little stressed.
Yes.
Right.
He's very affectionate, high energy. He knows some basic commands. He knows his name very, very well, so he will come when you call him. He seems to be potty trained. However, I don't like to promise that because it depends on the environment. Not my fault. Yes, exactly. And he's just a total love bug. Absolutely good on leash. Doesn't have any resource guarding. Lovely with children. Good with my bunny and my other dogs.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's like with cats. He's a good boy.
He is a good boy. And how old is he? He looks young.
10 to 12 months.
Okay, so he's just a baby. Now we have, this one's Todd.
Actually, that one's Lucho.
Oh, I'm sorry, this one's Lucho. So
and this
Lucho,
one's Todd.
So is Lucho and Todd, are they from the same litter?
We think
know?
so, yes.
Yeah, they do kind of look alike, don't they? So what's he like? What's Lucho like?
It's pretty much the same as Todd. Like, they're very similar in their character. I feel like Todd is more outgoing. Lucho's more like independent, a little bit more introverted. But they're both fantastic on leash. They're great with kids, great with dogs, good with my bunny. They know how to sit on command. They're crate trained.
And are good at traveling because they come from Mexico. Are these guys, would you prefer that they go to a home together?
No.
Oh, you want them separated?
Yes,
okay.
Yes. They actually function better apart.
Oh.
Yes. Yes. Right, my
So
baby?
these guys sound like the perfect individual dog. You're looking for a young dog. Either Lucho or Todd would make be beautiful dogs. They're gorgeous. They're so sweet. And as Carly said, just ignore the whining. It's only the environment.
Yes.
Now I want to mention too, because the reason that these dogs are even in Canada is thanks to an organization called Candy and the help of Air Transat. Tell us about that.
Yes, Air Transat is the most amazing airline. If you ever have to fly anywhere, please choose Air Transat. They provide free transport of humanitarian supplies. We take duffel bags full of school books and pencils and pens and leashes and collars, all sorts of things to different countries that show need. And then they also allow us to fly back rescue dogs for free.
Yep.
We're allowed to take back 3 to 5 dogs depending on the size of the plane, and it usually costs $150 a dog to fly them back, but they give it to us for free because they're rescue.
That's awesome.
So because of Air Transat, we've been able to save thousands of lives.
Amazing.
Yes, they're absolutely amazing.
Now, when is your next scheduled trip?
I'm going back November 25th.
Okay. And are you looking for donations of money, treats, anything? Because you say they also will transport anything that's for
children.
Children, yes. So clothing.
Yes, shoes. Shoes are a huge necessity.
What about like things like toothpaste, toothbrushes?
No, we can't bring that back.
No?
We can't bring toothpaste because when we go through the Mexican customs, they they search our bags and they won't allow food or products like.
Okay, so clothing,
toiletries.
And what about anything for animals?
Leashes, collars, Revolution, like any kind of flea, tick, and heartworm prevention, deworming capsules and pills, pretty much any kind of pharmaceutical, any kind of dog supply that's not food related.
Okay, that's good. So if you want to donate funds or you have any of those items that Carly just mentioned, visit our website and then their link is there. Now also, you did mention you have 21 dogs that are up for adoption, including Lucho and Todd. You have an adopt-a-thon event coming up. What's the date and location?
We have one at Beaches Pet Value on October 15th.
Okay.
It's from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m.
That makes a great Thanksgiving present because why not get a dog for Thanksgiving?
Yes, exactly.
And then you have one, did you say, so October 15th and anything after that?
We do actually, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Okay, well, you know what, you'll probably
be back. We have it
on
our website.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and you'll probably be back on the show.
Exactly.
Before that happens. So if you're interested in either Lucho and Todd, they would make great pets, right? They're young pups, they're beautiful, and you're also helping out a great rescue organization, Coveted Canines. I want to thank you so much, Carly, for being on the show. Good luck with your Adopt-a-thon event. Again, can you just say one more time for the camera where that's happening?
We will be at Beaches Pet Value on October 15th from 11 a.m. till 2 p.m.
All right, so if you're looking for a dog, you might meet Lucho and Todd there, and we'll see you guys next week. Say bye.